Really good. Had a couple again on a day like this. We're doing a little bit of situational installations, kind of whether it's field position or down and distance, but real competitive. Especially the ones-on-one portion was really good, and really happy with our effort. And I'll clean up the next couple days.
What do you see in their line? They're now up to, looks like 3 true freshmen. What do you kind of see out of the guys? I know one of them probably hasn't played a ton, but what do you see out of their line and some of the young guys?
It's funny when you watch their line. It's not like you're going, "That's the true freshman." I thought they played, they played really well for the last few games, and anytime there's a new guy in there, they're going to know a little bit more about their limitations and whether it's schematic or physical, whatever it may be, a lot more than we are. And so they're going to game plan in that way. But I think they played really well. Again, it's not a situation where you could block out the numbers and go, "There's the two guys that are new," which sometimes you can with people.
Yeah.
So it's not something that you guys are necessarily going to try to exploit throughout the game, where you guys kind of try to bring more pressure at those guys on the line?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I mean, it's you're not going to totally retool things just because of one guy. At the same time, we're going to make sure everybody's dialed in and knowing what they're doing. Their system is such that they have a lot of answers for different types of pressures. When you look at a lot of the success, and it's been few and far between, it hasn't necessarily been a zero blitz or a heavy pressure situation, creating sacks or turnovers. So we just have to do our deal and play. We like our defensive line, and it's another huge challenge for them.
Did Cameron have to deal with much of that last week?
A little bit. They did a couple things, that you could tell they were, and not necessarily huge schematic things, and he handled those really well. The things that were kind of things that he had to adjust to that were a little bit out of the norm, he did really well. Mentally, he's been good. His biggest thing is he just plays really hard, and he's a tough guy, and he's going to be a really good player.
Mark, you guys are in pads today. You go back not too many years ago, it was pads, 2 or 3 days a week. There was a lot more hitting. What has changed that in college football? Just realizing you're beating guys up?
Well, at this point in the season, you've hit a bunch. You still have to fundamentally tackle and teach that. You still have to hold the ball when you get tackled, and that's the fine line that you try to walk between being physical, being fundamentally sound at how you tackle, and physical on both sides of the ball, and then taking care of the football on offense. And guys are just bigger and faster and stronger than they used to be. And as hard as that is to believe, with you and I being, well, not you and I, but guys are just bigger and faster. And when two things that are big and fast run into each other a lot, you're gonna have a few more injuries. And so it's always a tough thing. Our guys have done a good job, knock on wood, of walking that line, and today was a great example of that. I thought we had some really good physical periods. We needed to be physical, and then when it was kind of learning time, we can shut it down and learn.
Do you get a sense that your teams, or teams in general, now are healthier in the end of the years because they don't count so much?
Well, you hope so, but there's always the freak things that happen out there. And shoot, I didn't see a bunch of these. I heard a couple guys before practice talking about the NFL injuries, a bunch of non-contact injuries and stuff. You can't, that's just a weird deal. And so you're never gonna get prepared for all of that stuff and never eliminate all that stuff. But you try to build them up in practice to play with confidence as best as you possibly can, and hopefully that's being as healthy as you can as well.
Do you think it's back? You feel like you have some different options than when we last saw him on the field because of what you've seen from the other running backs out there the last couple of weeks with him out?
I think like we've talked before. I think those young guys. It was just a matter. Byron again has played really well since he's been here and had a great fall camp. And Thomas is just learning and getting better and better every week.